Beer culture currently in 2009 is unlike anything I could have predicted. There's a huge interest in beer.
Beer is a great traditional product. It has a real relevance to the consumer. It's needed. You know, I think if we could all just step back and have a beer once in a while, we'd probably solve world peace and all the other problems we've got.
I had always liked the idea of being able to make a business out of beer. I did some home brewing before we got into the business, and so to be able to make a career out of a hobby is always satisfying.
I've worked for Schlafly off and on for years. I think everyone's focused on the same goal. You know, we want to make beer. We want to make the best beer possible. And we also want to run a good company.
To have a unique and thriving community, we need to have products that are unique to St. Louis.
There's just a lot right with it. It's civic-mindedness, tearing up part of the parking lot of Bottle Works to put in a garden, hosting the farmers market, trying to build the Bottle Works as green as possible, plus the beer. All natural ingredients, 4 primary ingredients, makes it easy.
This is what I stir my mash tun with. There's no automated mechanical mechanism in there whatsoever. It's a big wooden paddle. Basically it starts, we have our silo outside. It's got all of our base 2-row malt in it.
Take that malt, run it through a mill to break open the husks so we can get at the sugar on the inside.
The grain starts coming in as it mixes with water. And so it's all about precise temperature control in this.
The hot water activates the enzymes to convert the starch to sugar. We then collect the sugar liquid, which is called wort, through a series of pipes in this system here at the tap room into the brew kettle. We boil for a little over an hour. We add hops, typically at 2 stages, sometimes more.
The other thing we're doing is we're sterilizing the wort at this point because we're going to add a pure culture strain of yeast, so we want to make sure that there's no other impurities.
When we add the hops, you add it usually the kettle. The longer you cook it, the more bitterness you get out of it. The less you cook the hops, the more aroma you get.
APA is a good example of one that's got some bitterness, more bitterness than the average beer, but in the end is really just a big aroma beer. And so that's all about hops later on in the kettle and also in the fermenter after it's already been fermenting.
So we add the yeast, it ferments in the fermenters anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months.
Yeast is a living organism. We don't actually make the beer, is what we like to say. It's the yeast that makes the beer.
The yeast comes in, eats the sugar, makes alcohol, makes CO2, makes different esters. Everything that beer is from yeast.
Somehow the stars align when Dan and Tom started this place in late '91, and I feel lucky to be a part of it.
And I think maybe the most satisfying aspect of it is the role we've played in revitalizing 2 communities. The western part of downtown was pretty desolate when we moved in. The building where the tap room is had been vacant for 22 years. And while I wouldn't take credit for everything that happened there, I think we have certainly been helpful in the revitalization of the Washington Avenue Loft District and the neighborhood around the tap room. The tap room is where we first opened. It's a much smaller brewing system. Bottle Works is a bigger production facility. Almost all the bottled beer that you see out in the market, whether it's draft or bottled, was brewed at Bottle Works.
You can't beat the beer business. I mean, it's at the end of the day, even if you have a rotten day, at the end of the day you're making beer. I mean, how bad can it really be?
I think we need to focus a little bit more as a society on making the things that we consume as opposed to just assuming they're going to drop in from some other part of the world.
No, I am very lucky to have the team that we have here. And, you couldn't ask for a better group of people, and I go around bragging about what they're doing all the time.